Yes, y'all. Welcome back. Your boys are back at it again, gentlemen. How are we? 2 weeks off.
Good.
I feel
Doesn't even feel
feel
like 2 weeks
feel
off.
alive again. I listen. I never want to do that again. Okay,
What, the 2 weeks?
rewriting the contract. Yeah, we're rewriting the contract next
Oh,
year. I'm not
What
taking
did
two
we
weeks
miss?
off.
We didn't
I
miss
needed
I'm
much.
not
that.
taking 2 weeks off.
I needed that.
Yeah, I did.
You can't go 2 weeks.
Not
Absolutely.
Look, Ty's already in the comments. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We tried to get rid of him, but we couldn't find a replacement, so he is back for another year. But no, how we living? Everybody good? Everybody have a good New Year? Happy holidays. Hope
good.
everything was well with you and your families.
Mm-hmm. Everything was good.
Did a little trip to Florida. It's all right.
You mean outside of the United States? That's good.
Dude, so I go to Florida. I found, we talk here in PA about Sheets and Wawa. No, you need to check out Bucky's in Florida. This gas station has it so much above everything else.
Is
This
it?
guy, look at him.
It's got
Mhm.
over
Look at him.
100 some gas pumps. It's like a Sheets on steroids. It has like a Cracker Barrel gift shop inside. They do brisket sandwiches. They have like a
Are they
huge coffee
sponsoring
bar.
the show?
Everything. They might as
They
well
sponsor
because
the
it was
show?
the best place I've ever been to. It was like our place was right across the street from it. I was there every day.
I can tell you bought a hoodie. Like you don't just buy hoodies. Like you bought a hoodie.
Patron, no.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
I saw the
Yeah.
salary prices you sent to the group text too, for how much your GM gets or assistant GM and that stuff. And like make some nice money down there.
Damn, man, I don't know if I'm gonna go free agent yet. It was a good time. Definitely needed.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
I didn't know that's where you were, Ty.
Ties everywhere. Ties
Yeah.
everywhere. No, I mean, I miss podding. I definitely miss podding.
Especially last
enjoyed
week.
enjoyed the rest and recovery. Did spend some time with family. I'm still doing parenting done right because I managed to surprise my kids with a couple gifts. Still got some shock and awe, even though they're older. Was able to pull that off. New Year's Eve, my birthday, chilled, relaxed, watched some football, partied it up a little bit. No hangover, which is always a plus. So, I managed to get the H2O to liquor ratio correct and woke up with no hangover.
Nice.
So that's starting off the new year right.
Took a couple years, but you finally got it.
Yeah, man. That 1 year I was out for like 3 days. I was just out for I just went all liquor that year. It was bad scene, but yeah, no, good. Glad to be back. A lot to get into, a lot to jump into. So if nobody got anything else, we're just gonna hop right into bell to bell because we got a jam packed load of week of stuff to get into, and move forward from there. All right. I saw a tweet that said, I hate January 6th, and there was a picture of the Capitol and Vince McMahon. So you can see where some people were at. With,
Wow, really?
yeah.
Or that said the same thing. I had that. Vince McMahon forced himself back into the office on January 6th.
Man, unbelievable. But yeah, Vince is back. Speaking of coming back, the hostile takeover, so to speak. So I was super excited because, man, well, I mean,
Sure.
Very.
definitely has. So not
And
while we were
that's why
away.
we could not keep the captions up during the whole episode.
So while we were away, I found out, through 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, well, actually 2 degrees, but I had an in to a WWE board member. Okay. This came about while we were off. I was like, oh, really? Okay. Not going to jump into that world as far as trying to get scoops and whatnot, because that's not the type of show we are. And quite frankly, I don't really care it to be that type of show.
You want to beat the seats? Come on, man.
I was going to use it to the advantage of, events, get some tickets, maybe, hop backstage, possibly set up some interviews type deal. Like I had the whole plan laid out, was getting ready to call and talk and everything else. And they shall remain nameless because I'm not going to put them out there like that. But with Vince coming back, that link officially over with. So you can take that what you will, but yeah. So I was like, we had the connection, had the board member in the trenches in there day to day. But yeah, no, that went gone. That went bye-bye. So it is what it is. Initial thoughts.
As quick as it came in, huh?
Yep, pretty much. But no, initial thoughts. Do we really believe that he's just coming back in to sell WWE, or is this him coming back in and going to be running the show? Yeah, all that. Yes, I am.
I think since
who's hotter, top dollar, nada, the big shot caller.
Yeah, I think since WWE was doing well without him, he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to get a part of this again."
It was just good being an afterthought for this brief amount of time. Him not being on the mind, out of the picture, just felt good.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where he probably thought that it was going to be, they're not going to be able to do this without me, and then they proved him wrong that they can do it without him, and now he's just like, probably his ego is hurt, and now it's just a power move.
Well, do you think the ego comes back into it to where it's, if I'm not running it, Nunians are running it, and I'm selling it. I don't care that it's been my family's legacy for, 50, 60 some years when you factor in the time that his dad ran WWF. Hey, no, y'all are gone. Like, I'm cashing in the chips. I'm taking all the money. I'm writing yins out the will at some point in time. Like, it's over with. You want to force me out? I'm done with you.
The McMahon family is better than Succession. The thing yesterday WWE apparently had an internal Zoom call with all their employees, non-talent related, just corporate. And one of the things that Stephanie apparently brought up is that they are discussing taking the company private again, which I thought is probably the best move for them to do. That's what I've thought for a while. And this way that you don't have to have this happen again. It's just, you pass it on, you set up your succession plan, whatever. The only problem with this is it's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to have they're going to have some investors that aren't looking for quick turnover for profit. They're going to have people that are invested for the long term for that if they do it.
And the biggest investor that I saw linked to them, which makes sense, is the Saudi money group. They have a portfolio that's upwards, I think it's over $600 billion worth of investments worldwide, depending on what they're in. They started the Live Golf Tour. They backed that. So we all know how that played out if you follow sports over the past year. And it wouldn't surprise me if that, they get the buy-in from them and they turn it private, and then they, go back to running it how they wanted to run it, without having to worry about the shareholders, investors, so on and so forth.
They can do things just like TNA had done, just like AEW does, where you're private, you don't have to discuss certain things. Just
now, if you go private, can you still go to people like Amazon, Disney, as like a streaming service?
Oh, absolutely. You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, because that's your money then.
Yeah,
it's your money, so you can do what you want.
Yeah, so like Tony Khan negotiating with Warner Brothers, it'd be the same thing. Just WWE going to each individual platform and saying, "Hey, give us X for Y," and go from there. I besides the Saudi group, obviously I saw the NBC Universal, Amazon. There were a couple other ones. I saw CAA, the sports agency, linked. This is going to be very interesting how it plays out if you're into like the business side of things.
Yeah,
because what they do now is going to set the the roadmap and the trajectory for them over the course of the next 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And
No,
if they get it wrong,
Setback.
then we're circling back around 10 years from now and we got a 30 for 30 on what happened to the WWE. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at. I don't feel like there's a middle ground here. I feel like they're either going to hit a home run with this or it's going to just completely tank and we're going to be talking about what happened to WWE.
Yeah.
And in my mind, if WWE goes, wrestling goes. It's mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the longevity of the WWE and what's better for them is for them to go private because, unfortunately, if I would see like a Disney or Universal or Amazon, whoever buying them, you could be looking at WCW all over again.
Yeah.
These people aren't going to
know wrestling.
They don't know wrestling. They're not going to go in and put the best people in charge. It's going to be all about money, and if it's not making money, they'll just slowly eat at it and. Who knows what they would do with it?
And that's where I think the negotiations come in, which is where Vince's ego comes back into play because he's done all the negotiating along with the other two, and I forget their names.
That would be so horrible.
But do you think he's in the best position for that?
Well, I mean, the stock price finished up 17% at the close of the trading day yesterday. So
but was that Vince or was that because of the talk of sale and the stocks shooting up for people that might want to get bought out?
They go hand in hand.
But is he the best for negotiation, not producing the product and running the show in general? Is he the best for the negotiation part?
Is he the best person to sell it? To sell WWE, to marketing sell it? Yeah, I mean him or Stephanie. I mean,
no, Stephanie's not. Stephanie don't have the chops to get in there and do and cut the deals. That's why
I'm not saying the deal. I'm just selling the company, like marketing the company. I'm not saying deal, but that's what you have other people for. That's what the lawyers are for. They're not. Vince isn't negotiating the deal. That's what he pays the attorneys for.
But that was his whole point of coming back and bringing back Michelle, what's her face, and then George.
Yeah, Michelle and George. Yeah,
that was the whole point. Them three coming back because they were the ones that linked the big Fox deal. They've done the rights with Peacock. They've done the USA over the years and everything else like that. That's why he wanted them to come back with him because
I don't think they did Peacock. I think that was after them. But it surprised me because Vince let them go. Because he didn't like their vision for the future of the company. Like that was his reasoning for why. That's why he brought in Nick Khan. He thought Nick had a better vision for the future of the company to replace them. And it's just like...
But that's when he was in charge.
Yeah, it's just so weird. It's like, okay, you didn't think they had the right vision for the company, but you think they're the right people to sell the company too. It's like...
Well, it's a different skill set.
Different. You're trying to get top money.
I'm not saying they're the wrong people, but... they know. I don't know what they've done since they left WWE, but they know the company.
Oh yeah.
This is like I said. This is from a business, money market, all the financial, people that you may watch and dive into with stocks and everything else. You'll want to follow all that because this is definitely a big move. I mean, hell, the Wall Street Journal had the article printed up and set to go as soon as the press release dropped.
Yeah.
Vince coming back to sell the company. Like that was the headline of the article. So
a rumor, one of the rumors I saw, or not rumors, but one of the articles that I saw, I think it was on CNN, and they specified that Vince hasn't even paid the money back yet that he owes WWE. The $20 million, whatever it was. Do you think with him coming back, does this open up any more SEC investigations to the company? Especially if he hasn't paid back, do you think that they're going to keep an eye on him or keep an eye on business dealings with the company?
Well, you brought up the SEC, and that's where my mind immediately jumped to whenever I first saw this with the presentation, his plan to lay out to come back into power.
Yeah.
It's, y'all are about to get hit. And so before you get hit, you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
That was my immediate first thought, wrongly or rightly, but that's where I immediately went to. It was, all right, you guys are going to have the, Uncle Sam, big brother come in, and they're going to run through and hit you and take you for everything that you're worth. So why not get rid of it and get out? But I mean, Chris, you're an investor. You have stock in WWE. Like,
Yep.
what you
Did.
as
I don't
far
have it
as
anymore, but
we'll see. You got out the game before.
I got out of it a couple years ago, but I still pay attention to the conference calls and everything, though.
Okay.
But since you had stock, I mean, as a shareholder, like, what would your preference be as far as what would you would want them to do from your standpoint?
For just in general right now, because the thing that bothered me is that in December, the board of directors voted that Vince should not return. And then here we are a few weeks later, and he's just forcing himself back in the company. And kind of what Morris said a little bit earlier, my preference, and it has been for a while, WWE just needs to go private again. Like I said before, it's like that's the move that I want to see. I was honestly not expecting Thursday press release, Friday WWE press release. I was kind of expecting Thursday Vince announcing it, Friday WWE saying we're looking into legal matters. We're not going to accept this right away. But at the same time,
they didn't really have an option, though.
No, they could.
The way he laid it out, that was going to be a really uphill battle to prevent it.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, if they didn't really want him back, But see, to what you said, maybe they're about to get hit. Maybe they were just like, all right, this is just the best move, because had they done a legal battle or anything, maybe that could have viewed them more as a company that they shouldn't be investing in. Because you never know. It's just like anything can adjust the stock price at any time. So it's just like, do they see, the company not, if they want to accept Vince back in, do investors see that as a company that, they don't have any faith in and just start selling their stocks? And it can go either way. Yes, right now it's high, but something could happen this week in the news of WWE and could tank the stock for anything. So it's just like, you just never know what's going to happen.
Any other thoughts on Vince's return?
Nope.
On screen wise, right now, I think it was a solid first week back for WWE. The Bloodline continues to be the best thing on their shows.
Yep.
Between Monday night and last night, I thought last night was great.
Yeah.
Great storytelling.
Yes.
Great entertainment from a viewership standpoint. Gave me a reason to why Roman is taking on KO again at the Rumble, even though he did that last year's Rumble, right? Or 2 years ago Rumble, right?
Thunderdome.
Yeah, the Thunderdome. But I think, and we'll get into this, closer towards whenever we predict the Rumble, but based off of Monday night and Friday night, I want Sami Zayn to win the Rumble. If you're going to continue on this Bloodline story, and I know the rumors were to have him and KO eventually get together to take on the Usos at Mania for the tag team titles, I really want to see Sami win the Rumble and take out the Tribal Chief.
I think it'd be good for the story too. To say next week he loses to KO, and they go be like, "Oh, you need to prove yourself." You really, really need to prove yourself, and he goes out and proves it on the biggest stage before Mania.
What about neck tap, man? Well, you have 2 nights, so if you're going to have Roman pull double duty, and this is taking the Rock off the table, okay? This is not having Rock at Mania.
No.
If you have 2 nights, you can have Roman versus Cody, and then Roman versus Sami, and then that's the end of Roman. He goes away, lose both belts, goes away. He does his part-time hits now, and you roll with it that way. And I'd be okay with both of those main events. I don't like the possible storyline of, and I saw this to be rumored out there, that the Bloodline coming over to Raw and running roughshod and taking people out and everything else is going to lead them to stripping Roman of one of the titles. And then they
you
would
can't just
have
strip
a
him of a
match
title.
that way.
No.
That's one of the stories that are being floated out there. I don't like that idea at all. I think that would be terrible. But after last night and what they've done with Sammy from War Games till now, give me Sammy versus Roman at Mania. Like, I think it is built to that point to where Sammy is so over with the fans. Like, him beating Roman after Roman just belittles him for weeks upon weeks upon weeks leading up to Mania, that place would go insane when that 3 count hits. Like, you would get I honestly think you get like a Kofi, Daniel Bryan pop out of that crowd with Sammy beating Roman. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'll be somebody different.
It would be.
Somebody completely different.
Hasn't held the main roster belt yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he don't got to be
I'm a Sammy guy. I'm okay if he would win the title.
And he don't need to be long term either.
No.
Have Owens take it off him.
Owens turn on him then.
Just like an NXT.
I mean, the story's built. I mean, we know the history. So, like...
Or do like they do with everything. He becomes the new tribal chief. Just like when Shawn went out and Hunter became the leader of DX.
The one that I saw, Steve, was, it looks like Owens at Rumble, then possibly Sammy does something at Rumble, which leads to Roman, Sammy at Chamber in February, and then Owens and Sammy at Mania versus the Usos.
Put him in a triple threat. Roman don't have to take the pin.
No, can't do that. Tribal chief.
If you're going to have him drop it, I think you have to have him drop it.
Yeah.
You know, coming off this long period.
Having that mystique in the air, like, oh, I never was pinned.
Yeah, you can't have 3 years worth of storytelling end with somebody else taking a pin in a triple threat. Like, that'd be such a cop out. Like, besides the Bloodline, I think a couple other positives from WWE this week, and I'm speaking positives in 2023. Okay, all right.
Let's time it.
The negativity. We're gonna leave that by the wayside. We're gonna focus strictly on
even Siri doesn't believe you on that one.
Right? Speaking strictly on the positives. I think Dominic Mysterio continues to be fantastic. Him showing up on Christmas, getting arrested, looking out the glass saying, I can't do jail. And then he goes to jail and he becomes the most hardened Will Ferrell, get hard criminal ever.
There's your timer.
But yeah, I mean,
that's what he's there for, entertainment. I don't care about the in ring. He's
the black teardrop boy. That man,
that was fantastic.
That killed.
Between him and Graves hyping him up every week, it's gold for me.
Yeah,
it's still all real for me.
I like the Hurt Business being shown in the background. So they're teasing it. Bobby's been off, so hopefully he'll come back and they'll get that ball rolling, which is kind of disappointing because you could have the Hurt Business bloodline and run with that, and you can have Bobby beat Roman as a end to a means.
Another.
So that kind of stinks that we're getting it at the tail end of the bloodline whenever you had it sitting there this whole time and didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Hill.
Doesn't mean Bobby can't get in the title picture again.
Would it be Hill? I heard him talking about turning Bobby Uber Hill.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bloodline's to the point now where they're already getting cheers. You know what I mean? Like they're that tweener group, so to speak.
Taco on man.
Everybody take a drink.
Two weeks of not having Ty on the screen throws me all off the game right now. Can't have it. Can't do with it. But no, I thought overall it was a solid week for WWE. The one thing that I saw that has some concern for me, I don't know. I saw a fan cam from somebody sitting first row. It looked to be that Seth was legitimately hurt. Don't know if he's injured or not, and not storyline. So we'll see if more comes out about that. But it did look like he threw up the X and a little pissed off that the doctors didn't come down as quickly as he would have liked to get looked at while he was sitting in the corner. So that's kind of a downer. If that is the case, you don't want to start off 2023 with, arguably the wrestler of the year in WWE, having him go on the shelf, so to speak.
Yeah, and I just saw that AJ got injured.
Yeah. Ankle. Yeah. Broke ankle.
Yeah, broke ankle would probably be, I'd say.
Could be back for Mania, but.
Yeah. You see, I mean, it depends all on how it heals.
Yeah.
To where you don't want it to not heal right to where they got to re-break it and all that, because then you're looking at a certain extended period of time.
And just as someone that, of a certain age in wrestling and is a high flyer, it's a hell of an injury to have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What'd you guys feel about Alexa and Bianca on Monday?
Honestly, I thought Monday was awful.
I just felt like so I did see, like, they basically ran the spoof of the screen, or the
scary
movie fight, which I thought was hilarious. As I was watching it live, I'm like, oh, this is fantastic that they're actually doing this in a wrestling ring right now. But I just felt like their chemistry was off the whole match. Like the timing was off. The setup for certain moves, it looked clunky. Like I was expecting more out of them too. And not everybody that you get in the ring with, you're going to hit a home run with. So maybe them two just don't vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, get Alexa over to Bray as quickly as possible so she can move on and do something else. But I do think it may lead to Bianca versus Alexa at the Rumble. Because I don't see anybody else that can be elevated this quickly to face Bianca.
I didn't mind the story, or I don't mind the story, but it was just a match that was just off of me.
Yeah. Yeah, the story's driven for her to go, Bray-ish.
Yeah.
No.
Was that a injury on the steps, or was that prop blood?
No, that was legit. Her face was legit. Like out to here the next day. Like she had some stitches, and it swelled up. It looked like she had a softball on her.
Man, she be catching some hits, boy.
She tweeted out a picture. All my cousins want to beat up Alexa. I thought my face was not this swollen last night, but it was. Yeah, she did catch one. I think WWE for the start of 23, they got off on the right foot. I enjoyed both shows.
It was a rocky start for the first week.
What made it rocky?
Raw was boring the whole episode.
I give it a start and an ending. It was good for me.
I think SmackDown was better, but not by much. Like it's still consistent with what it's been.
And I think it was different than the past couple of weeks where it was just end of the year and kind of put it out there to put it out there. Like I feel like they're starting off,
which is normal.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like if you're looking road to WrestleMania wise, I thought that this was a good week for them to get out the blocks. It wasn't like, oh my God, the greatest week ever, but at the same time, it was all right. We got step one down. We're out. We're running. We're setting the table for different things. And let's just continue to roll from there. So
I agree.
As long as the Bloodline story's still kicking, I'll still kick with WWE.
Doesn't butter Chris's biscuit.
No, not at all. What I've said through most of it. Just because it's the greatest thing in WWE right now doesn't mean it's the greatest thing. Just it's above average for me.
Well, since you brought that up, where was the tweet? And this is a little bit off topic because we're just on WWE right now, but that's not it. And considering the source, it is what it is. But
can't wait to hear who this source is.
I think it's from Blake.
Why can't I find it?
He's not yelling, Dave. He's trying to be positive this year.
Stay tuned, Dave. He's all positive today. We'll see when that next segment rolls.
One thing I didn't like about Raw, whenever everybody came out to stop the bloodline, like all the people who they jumped, the weeks before, they only had a match with a couple of them and not everybody. I would have threw like a 10-man versus 4 or something like that.
Like
they didn't use everybody. Yeah. No, not a gauntlet, like 10 men against the other 4 members of the bloodline.
Oh, like all at one time.
Yes, all at one time. Yeah, they didn't use everybody who they beat up. They only use a couple.
Give all the jobbers a payday.
Yeah, I mean, they already did it. Payday. I mean, they all came out.
So here it is. It was from Disco, who got props for putting over MJF the other night.
When you do on your own time, Ty. When you do on your own time.
Hopefully you're in a private browser and not just out on Google with that. But Disco said, here are the 5 hottest acts in wrestling heading into 2023. Bloodline 1, MJF 2, and then 3 through 5 were blank.
That sounds right for Disco.
But, I mean...
He ain't lying.
He's not lying.
He's not.
I mean, we were just talking about the Hurt Business, how we're looking forward to that. So you could throw them on the list. If
I got to throw Josh Alexander on the list.
They're not a current act.
I can throw some people in there, but they're not being booked properly on their show.
And what is that?
Like I can throw Jamie Hayter in there, but she's not even the main focus on the show.
Maybe Josh Alexander.
I'll say Josh.
The longest reigning Impact champ of all time. Got a great storyline going on with Bully Ray. Hard to Kill's next week. That pay-per-view sold out. And that's a great card. You got Mickey James and Jordan Grace.
I saw everybody hyping that up. All right, let's calm down on hyping up a sold-out show whenever it's a small venue, okay? Like
a sellout's a sellout. You can't
a sellout's a sellout, but
sold out my room.
Yeah.
I mean, the Arizona Coyotes only play in a 5,000 seat arena in the NHL because they didn't want to pay their bills, but it's still a sellout. Like, you're not going to knock them because it's only 5,000 people.
But are they really? Is everybody hyping up Arizona being sold out all the time?
They sold out the Alamo Dome. Come on now, Chris.
Exactly.
But I mean, that's not on people's radars just because Impact, isn't watched a whole lot.
Chuck E. Cheese zone.
Discovery zone. I'm dating myself. But yeah, so all right. I mean, look, it's been almost 3 years, Chris. We get it. You're never going to like the Bloodline, so it is what it is.
There's things I enjoy with it, but again, it's the Bloodline is never going to be one of those things top 10 that I talk about, down the road, like greatest factions or anything like that. It's
not in your top 10?
Really?
It's not even close.
In your top
again, the company is average right now. I put the Bloodline slightly above average, and that's why it's so popular, because it's just slightly above everything else. 10.
Trash.
Wow.
I
knew you hated, but I didn't know you hated.
Yeah, no. I mean, again,
He's like the one guy left that won't acknowledge Roman Reigns.
You turned your back to the tribal chief.
He's the only guy. He's the only guy sitting in the arena with large spots.
I turned my back to the tribal chief.
Yeah, everybody else got their ones up, and Chris is just sitting there. Nope.
No,
that's it. So,
I don't think everything sucks, but
they were being positive today, Dave.
taking the negativity that Steve doesn't want to.
They flipped it. The yin and the yang. They flipped the yin and yang.
Yeah. Well, Dave's yang is about to get a whole lot longer if CM Punk comes back, as the rumors are to be said. Wanting to play ball and come back.
Donald, say it.
It is. It is. From the word go, when that fight started, I said it was all work. And guess what's coming back? This is going to be the best story since Hogan turned.
Ty, that's the real tribal chief right there. I'll acknowledge him. I like Moana.
Moana, Mata Continuity, or whatever.
I said over in the group chat, I said if CM Punk comes back, that first promo he cuts on MJF about how he was begged to come back because MJF's a ratings tank and he's not the man. You know, that all the CM Punk stands are just going to be like Randy from South Park. Be all over the place with it. I don't know if I need. You know, Dax talked about Punk on his first episode and supposedly got some heat on his podcast from what he was said. I didn't think what he said about Punk was anything that should have got him heat in the locker room with the boys. But
he could have stayed with Vince, retired.
Right with
you.
you.
Sorry, Dave, but I don't need him to come back.
Right with you.
Yeah.
Continue announcing MMA or whatever.
Well, speaking to further your everything's a work and blurred lines, would you think of the acclaimed Jeff Jarrett, Karen Jarrett, Kurt Angle, Kelly, just
again
shit show that was the week leading up to it?
All work just to get eyes on Battle of the Belts. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At midnight.
For Battle of the Belts, yeah.
Yeah.
A show that's
all
now.
Work.
What do you guys call it? Battle to Retain.
Yeah,
Battle to Retain.
Battle to Retain. Uh-huh.
You said 15-0.
Yeah, it's a 15-0.
We are a year later. You know, celebrating the year anniversary of the first Battle of the Belts with the 5th episode, and it's just like they've done nothing with that show to make me want to watch it.
No.
You just put the belt on Darby.
You did the title change Wednesday night. Like, why wouldn't you just put that on Battle of the Belts? I enjoyed Battle of the Belts. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the matches. I thought it was good. You advanced the Jade and Red Velvet and all that from Wednesday night. The match wise, I'm not gonna complain match wise. Like I enjoyed the show from start to finish. It's just there's no intrigue to tune in because every champ's retaining.
Yeah,
we've seen it now 5 times.
And now, especially what was it? The last 2 they've actually done live. You know, for a couple there, they were taping them on Friday and then airing it on Saturday. The last 2 they aired Friday night live. Like that's when you do something big with it. You know, like 1 year live. This way that I guess if you're taping it, no spoilers, but do something live. Give me a reason to tune in to think that someone's going to get beat. I mean, I will say that there was a couple times on some of those matches last night that I thought there was possibly going to be a title change, but. Like I thought Kip Sabian had a couple good near falls in his main event. I thought Sky had a couple good moments with Jay.
That finishing sequence that Jade and Sky had that led into the Widow's Peak, I thought was done really well. Yeah. The head scissors into the
Dave, it's just that there's not one Battle of the Belts that I'd sit there and can look back on and go like, oh, I need to rewatch that event. Like they're not giving me anything to be memorable about it. That's all I'm looking for. If it's supposed to be like their Clash of the Champions, do something big with it. Like, especially if you're going to be live with it.
I think the problem with this one, I think maybe more than others, was you've been hyping up the LA show, and it was sandwiched in between a very solid Dynamite. I thought Wednesday night, like I enjoyed Dynamite top to bottom. So like it just, it felt smashed, lost in the shuffle because of how good Dynamite was Wednesday, and then the hype for the LA show the following week. And it just kind of it was what it was. It was there, and they did it, and now we're more fun. Like I was more excited for Wednesday than what I was for Battle of the Belts based on what's been announced so far. So,
looking for that ladder match, huh?
No, I'm looking forward towards Danielson versus Takeshita.
Yeah,
like that
should be a good match.
I said it, and I know we'll throw out some predictions for 2023 here shortly and everything else, but Takeshita to me by this time next year, top guy. Like, and I haven't even heard him cut a promo, but he doesn't need to. Like, he's that good in the ring, bell to bell. Like, so, and he fits that AEW audience to a T, which is only going to make him get over more and more.
And who's going to be able to make him a star in the ring? But Brian will do a great job of that on Wednesday.
What do you guys feel as far as the whole MJF continuing to make people jump through hoops stipulation? Like, didn't they kind of do this gamut already
a few times?
Like you did it with Cody with the 5 whatever it was, the lashes, all that jazz.
Mm-hmm. Did it with Wardlow.
I think
they did it with Punk too, right? Or was it?
You did it with Punk. Punk had to do, yeah.
Or was it Jericho?
This one was
Jericho too.
He did it with Jericho. Yeah,
Jericho, yeah.
With all of his past,
Nick Gage and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I guess, his gimmick.
But this was nothing special. This was like win all your matches from here to there. But then if anybody else does that, they can be number 1 contender too, right?
I guess. I mean, that was kind of
who is the number 1 contender?
Because he brought up, he was like, you got to think. MJF brought up, this is about wins and losses. I thought that don't matter anymore.
It doesn't. They stopped doing that.
Moxley's winning every match from here to there.
Ask Top Flight. The past 2 weeks.
Hey, he put him in a lock in that little submission, and I heard somebody screaming no in the stands. A girl, I was like, that she's with Dalton.
Last night,
everybody else is cheering. No!
Oh yeah, the match was good, but I knew what the end result was going to be.
Oh yeah,
because one man is in it, so you know what that means.
Hey, how many times Top Flight got to get put over?
Hey, the Acclaim finally got it, so you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the story because it's a means to an end. You just saw Ty's comment, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
It's a means to an end. I don't think it's going to lead to Danielson beating MJF.
No.
So, Danielson's talked about how he's trying to wind it down. And, if you're going to put the belt on him and he's winding it down, then you got to figure out when you're going to do it. And I think if he goes to AEW for however long his contract is and he doesn't win the title, did you use him in the right way?
Like this summer will be 2 years, right?
Yeah. August will be 2 years.
I think he's helped.
I don't know.
It's one of those ones where it's like it makes you. That's what makes you interested in the main event because either guy could win. You're not sure where it's going to go. Like you think, like, okay, this is MJF's first real title defense. They're not going to take the belt off him. But when you have someone like Brian who hasn't held the title yet, just like I think he's more the type of person that's more likely to put over a person than
That's
to
what I
take
was
the
about to
belt.
say. Yeah.
But,
Mhm.
you know, it's,
And
I think he's supposed to be doing he's doing more what you're supposed to do
yeah.
when you're at this time in your career. You know,
And
not like the other
I-
guy who wants the title all the time.
well, according to Dax, he didn't want the title, but Tony
Okay.
Khan felt he
All
had to
right.
put it on him.
All right.
Um,
Yeah.
No, but with Danielson, I
Let's
think
give it to
with
him.
him,
Yeah.
the MJF stuff, the doubt's already playing it because it's a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Yeah.
So like that right there already goes, okay, well, we've seen what Danielson has done in 60-minute matches already.
Yep.
Like that should give him the clear advantage to come out on top. So
That's not MJF's style at all, which helps put that doubt in there.
Yeah.
But
No. Danielson gonna make him look like $1,000, $1 million.
pretty much.
what do you think of the fact that they had to pull a swerve, so to speak, and announce Saraya's tag team partner because it doesn't look like Mercedes Moné is coming into AEW. So in order to avoid the backlash, they announced Tony as her partner for this coming Wednesday to get that out of the way and it not be the disappointment of
No, it would have been better if it's going that way. You could have just had Tony come out. I wouldn't have minded. Everybody else
they would have got destroyed.
Yeah, I was gonna say the internet. Yeah,
No, that's the internet. Yeah, that's the internet who did that.
They did it to themselves. Expectations.
Yep.
Though what I would like is Mercedes do Wrestle Kingdom, AEW, and then show up in the Rumble.
Look at you. It's the
You're getting a
booker.
lot in 1 month. You had the AJ treatment.
She wants to go everywhere.
Yeah,
the worldwide tour. I really like Sheeta's reaction though. Like now you got me interested in seeing Sheeta versus Saraya. I'm always going to get that wrong.
Dave, I was expecting them to announce this at Wrestle Kingdom because they're doing night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom later this month, and I was just like, well, that's just got to be bookmarked just be Forbidden Door 2.
Well, no, Forbidden Door 2 is going to be in June, and it's going to be main evented by Omega versus Okada here in the States.
Yeah, but they were talking at one point to do like share it, like one
They'll go back to
AEW
Tokyo.
get it, then Japan get it. So that's where I thought that they were, instead of doing 2 nights of Wrestle Kingdom like they've done the past few years, I thought they were going to do one. Because what was that last year? It was New Japan versus Noah, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I thought it was going to go this year.
Yeah. Mercedes not showing up in AEW, does that hurt them?
No.
No.
What'd you think of Mercedes' debut in New Japan?
Just felt off because of their fan reaction.
It was different. I mean,
I know their fan reaction is there,
and everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was what it was. It was definitely a talkative moment for the show. I mean, what was it? They said that and was it Kenny were the 2 most Googled searches for Wrestle Kingdom. So hey, if it gets them a little notoriety, I'm okay with that.
And it was over 92,000 pay-per-view buys.
Okay.
In subscriptions, I think total it was over 92,000 for the show. So not as much as whenever Jericho debuted in at Wrestle Kingdom, but still, like,
not a fan, Dave, huh?
I saw a lot of that this week. I don't get that with Sasha.
That was my
Mercedes.
thing too, Ty.
I don't get that she can't cut a promo. Like I've never
had a
found
problem
that
with her promos.
I don't get it. I like her promo skills.
Yeah,
She's better than most.
I mean, yeah. I mean, she's not someone that I'm going to sit there and say here are my top 5 Sasha Banks promos of all time. But I've never had a problem with her on the mic at all.
But like when she's heel Sasha, she cuts it for me.
Oh yeah.
She can't be that bad at acting. She's on The Mandalorian.
She talk on The Mandalorian though?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
I don't think she did. I think
a few times.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. A few lines.
Follow me. That's their only line.
I don't watch The Mandalorian. I'm not a Star Wars guy, so I don't watch that.
It wasn't as big of a character as some people make it out to be.
No, it wasn't. She was just a side character.
Yeah.
Do you think she eventually goes back to WWE?
Yes.
Yeah, that's always
year. Will she go back to WWE this year?
Probably not.
No.
Because usually New Japan contracts are at least a full year.
Yeah, but it's not a typical New Japan contract. It's per dates. It's per matches.
Yeah, but they've done that with other people too. But it's usually a year-long contract. Okay. Like Wrestle Kingdom to Wrestle Kingdom is usually how they work. At least if you don't sign longer.
So you have it per date, but you can't wrestle anywhere else.
No, she can wrestle elsewhere.
I think that's why she's saying that she's going to try to make a world tour. She wants to wrestle other places.
Okay.
But Japan was apparently one of her things off that Stone Cold interview.
And it's just odd that they set up the match in Japan, but they're having it in Los Angeles.
Here.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's weird.
So does she beat Kari?
I would say yes. I mean,
yeah.
If you want to capitalize on it for however short of a run you have her for, then yeah. And it's not going to affect Kari. Like she is who she is. Then, you may say, "Oh, she's not that good," but that you're basing it off of a WWE run that's not a true depiction of who she is in pro wrestling.
I don't watch Stardom just because I don't know where to really watch it. But I think they said during the match that Kari's up until right now, she's undefeated since she returned, since leaving WWE. So she must be really popular there and have a following, and they must believe in her enough if they're putting that backing on her. And if they give Sasha the win, that's huge for both of them.
Mercedes, let's get it right.
In time.
It's not a Gunther Walter situation. Overall thoughts on Wrestle Kingdom though. Obviously I felt, I tweeted out Ospreay had promo of the year with the press conference right off the bat, and it was January 3rd. Like, good luck trying to top that from everybody else the rest of the year.
Right.
That was I don't think that's not a work, that's a shoot. Like, that's legitimately what he's had to deal with from COVID till now, and he let it fly, which I think New Japan does a good job of. It's hard not to say that that's match of the year so far, but them two absolutely tore the house. And I think Jay White even recognized it. Like, you could tell he's like, all right, we're not going to be able to steal the show because these two are going to absolutely tear the house down. So
the one thing that kind of cracked me up with watching Wrestle Kingdom is how much they loved that ramp on the show. Like, everybody was getting DDT'd or something on those LEDs. It's like, at first I thought it was like a flat surface over it, but then like whoever, I don't even remember who took it first. I was like, oh shit, that's just on there. Like, they're walking on those LEDs and everything. Yeah. That was the prop of the night.
I mean, I thought, was it like the best Wrestle Kingdom that I've seen? Probably not.
No, I agree.
They had their standouts. They had their moments. Glad to see Tama Tonga win a title.
I'd probably say if you looked at it on paper and you guessed what was going to be the moments of the night, that's what the moments of the night were.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now, and we saw Kenny team up with Okada.
New Year Dash.
Do you feel like they have momentum built up to where they can carry it throughout the year and garner some steam here with New Japan Strong? Like, piggyback off of it to make New Japan Strong more relevant from a watching standpoint this year? because you have the loser leave New Japan that's being hinted at with, Jay and Hikuleo type deal. So like, is this going to be Jay Switchblade coming to the States for the next year?
It depends on what they do with it. Like with Strong, if they keep using some of the people that they're using, I don't think they're using enough of the big names from New Japan. But if they're about to do that battle here in February, if they tape some episodes with some of the people that come over for that would make me more interested to watch Strong.
You got Jeff Cobb coming over. Him and Omega exchange words. So that's a feud that I'll watch because I think Cobb is severely underrated. Like, you go back all the way to whenever he was, Matanza and Lucha Underground. Like, that dude just, for whatever reason, I love his in-ring work.
I'm not familiar with his Lucha Underground stuff, but anything else I've watched of him, whether it's New Japan or Ring of Honor or a brief time that he's been in AEW, I've enjoyed his work.
Yeah, I'm okay with Cobb.
He's one of those big men that I actually think can do stuff in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a tall guy; he's just a big guy. But he can move.
Do you feel? And Okada talked about this a little bit. I think it was Okada. Do you feel he has to come to the States to actually like push Strong to make it something that people are going to be watching on the regular?
I think so.
Yeah, that's your top guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's for me, there hasn't been anybody, not enough people on Strong, at least for me, that made me really want to tune in consistently. Not saying they probably don't put on a good show. They probably do. There's just so much wrestling, and it's just another one that.
There's our first dad joke of 2023. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Like, I think New Japan has obviously the pandemic hurt them more than anywhere else, right? And they got to kind of build the momentum back up. Was Wrestle Kingdom a good start based on who was there, the matches they had, got people talking? Yeah, I think it was a good start.
Always.
Can they capitalize on it? We'll see what they do, Chris, like you said, moving forward to garner that momentum and actually carry it through to be meaningful over the course of the next year. Time will tell. So, yeah, there's that. Anything else from the week that was before we hop into debate this that caught your eye? Getting right back into the groove of things.
I think we hit it.
Real quick before we debate this, rumor is that Pat McAfee will be making his way back to WWE on the commentating table.
Good.
And he'll be added in as the third person on SmackDown. So they're not going to replace Wade. It'll be Wade, Cole, and Pat.
I don't think you need Wade in there with them.
No, that's too much.
I would bump Wade over to Raw.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
or back to NXT.
I'm liking both.
Just goes off a little too much.
He does, but at the same time, like I feel Booker is best suited down there, given the brand. I would bump Wade over to Raw, him and Graves, and we got to do something with KP. We got to get somebody else there. He just he's god awful.
He's there.
Dave got into business for himself over there.
Yeah,
of course, always.
yeah, but I can't wait for McAfee to come back because Cole was terrible. Since McAfee been gone, Cole's been awful.
Well, but Dave, I will plug it. Your video was very entertaining. I enjoyed that shit. So if you guys haven't watched it, head over to the Pro Wrestling Show's YouTube channel and watch his Wrestling Otaku video.
Whoa, is that a paid advertisement there? What are we doing here? I've been positive for an hour. I've been positive for an hour. I'm not trying to break it, but I mean,
he wears different merch. He's promoting over the shows.
Yeah, this guy's
Before debate
Chris
this,
is just free game. Anybody want to plug? Just hit up Chris this year. All right. Well, since we kind of ended on New Japan, let's hop into debate this, which is a New Japan tie, given a certain 10-year anniversary that just hit. So debate this: 10 years of the Bullet Club. Which leader was the best? You had Devitt, AJ, Omega, Jay White.
bad news.
It's crazy that it's been 10 years already, but
that's it.
He said bad news.
That's
You thinking Wade Barrett?
That's the only guy I know.
I mean,
I started watching New Japan when AJ was ending. So 2, 3, and 4 is what I'm most notable with. But I have to say, Omega, the stuff with him and Cody really kept me interested with the Bullet Club at the time. And I think the Bullet Club ran its course for me. I think it really ran its course, and they need to do something new.
That's the one thing I truly remember, so I'm gonna just go Omega.
2 and 3 for me were what I watched the most. There for a while, like after Jay White kind of took it over, it seemed like I didn't know who the leader was. Like it seemed like they were doing Guerrillas of Destiny were kind of running it there for a bit. Then they were feuding with White, and it just like it got really confused. And probably since after Omega
for a little bit of time.
Yeah, really kind of. I'm really since Omega left. It's like I'm tuning in for like Wrestle Kingdom, and I'm tuning in for Dominion, but that's more of what I'm watching with New Japan. Maybe just the occasional event here and there. So I can't really say too much about Jay White. I like Jay White from what I watched, but I'd probably go most entertaining would be Kenny Omega.
I mean, that's when Omega was at his peak with the cleaner gimmick and everything else.
And he grew up in it too.
Yeah, the internal battle between him and Cody and all that. The Bullet Club is fine, or the Elite is fine, whatever they were doing there.
I think they've asked the most of Jay White, just considering him going to Impact, him going to AEW. They've added members across the board in different promotions. So from like an expansion standpoint, they've put the most on White's shoulders, and who he's added and brought in different promotions. I think has added intrigue to the club, so to speak. With like Chris Bay and Ace Austin there in Impact. I may lean towards Kenny, but I think Jay, besides Fergal, besides Prince, I think it's fit Jay the most.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's boosted him or given him the bigger rub out of the 4. And yeah, I agree, Dave. I don't think anybody here hasn't been good.
True.
Looking at their time frames, I agree there. But I'm going to give it to Jay just a little bit because what it's done for him, and elevated his game up. Arguably Wrestler of the Year last year. And so, yeah, I'll go with White.
Longest reigning?
To me, it just feels like NWO.
Yeah.
But you got the Buff Bagwell and started adding all those members. That's what it just feels like to me. Like,
early on when they were doing that split, like you didn't know who was in Bullet Club, who wasn't, and the split with everything. I agree. It was feeling very, very much NWO-ish.
Over in Japan, they never had something like that before, so it was new to their audience.
Yeah,
very new to their audience.
But I mean, you look at the announcement with Under Armour, and who was promoted there, Bullet Club. So like, there's still.
Oh, yeah, it's still their brand that they promote.
The relevancy here may have worn off for certain people, but I think they're still just as relevant now as they were 10 years ago whenever it first started.
Mm-hmm.
And to have a 10-year period where you're still just as relevant in the promotion that the group was formed in, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you take the Bullet Club out of New Japan, you know, we talked about, you know, foreshadowing here some changes to the format of the show, but what if you take Bullet Club out of New Japan, and we can leave that tease there? But I'll go with Jay,
or just take it out in general.
Well,
Like never
take it out.
Never
Yeah.
was.
It never was.
Okay. That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Take it out or put it elsewhere.
No, it never was.
Just take it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can put it elsewhere, but I mean, you know,
if you put it over here in the States, it's going to be like, okay, that's a, you know, NWO ripoff.
so
But that's why I think why everybody enjoyed it too. It's just like everybody knew it was an NWO ripoff in a way, but it was something entertaining.
Mm-hmm. And they were in video games too.
Yeah.
So, like other video games, not wrestling games, other video games.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, the group's reach is hard to deny when you look across all promotions and guys that are on top or have been on top around the world. A lot of those guys were in the Bullet Club. So
look at WWE, the club.
Yeah. Was it now?
Which that's going to be interesting where they go with AJ out.
Yeah.
So,
Let him do it.
Because WWE doesn't ever let people really come in while they're injured. So,
all right. Anything else for Bell to Bell? We good? Huge week. A lot of stuff that we covered there. I think we did a good job. First week back, getting the juices flowing again, getting the topics out there. Because of that, I'm thirsty. So let's.
No, I was gonna say we're going over best of the year.
Best of the year.
My bad,
predictions and all that stuff.
Forgot.
Who was your match of the year, wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year? Oh.
We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because everybody already did their yearly recaps while we were off. So we can throw these out there. I'm looking more forward to predictions for 2023, but we can go around the horn and just kind of rattle off who we had where quick hitters for 2022.
Where you want to start, Chris?
Let's go feud of the year. What was everybody's feud of the year?
Mine's is real simple. It was MJF versus AEW and CM Punk versus AEW.
Cool. Jason?
Then I'll go Sammy and Jay.
Go.
Sammy and who?
Jay. Uso. From an entertainment standpoint.
Outside the box thinking. I like it. I like it. Jeez, oh man, Ty. This guy.
Forgot about that man for a moment.
Yeah. I mean,
good.
I think, feudity. It's hard to argue MJF versus Punk, but they didn't get the longevity out of that I think they wanted to, based on the circumstances and what happened, to really make it the true feud of the year. We've seen Tony and AEW how they book certain feuds. BCC JAS. You had MJF Jericho with the Pinnacle and Inner Circle. So like they have carried Hangman Omega. For me, even though it was only 3 matches, but it was done majority on social media, FTR Briscoes.
Yeah.
You can't have 3 5-star classics over the course of 8 months and not be feud of the year.
Is FTR just going to be your up and down?
Pretty much.
Maybe.
I got to go with for me, what the real feud of the year was CM Punk versus the Elite. What got talked about more?
You clickbait junkie.
We're still talking about it. Or we can go SEC versus Vince McMahon.
That'll be 2023.
All right. Well, Donald, good match of the year.
My match of the year is Okada versus Ospreay G1 final.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
The first time that Ospreay studied everybody who beat Okada and was using their finishers to beat him. Just couldn't do it. Great match.
I'm really gonna enjoy this story that they're gonna tell with Ospreay this year. I think it's setting up to be a really good run for him in New Japan.
Pull a sticker off something. For me, I'm gonna go Gunther versus Sheamus.
The Clash
from Castle.
Yeah.
Tom versus Jail Daddy.
Chris,
go ahead, Steve. Match of the year. I know.
I
know who's going to be in the match. I just don't know which one.
Well, see, this was difficult because I really enjoyed Ospreay versus Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
You had FTR Briscoes, but I'm going to leave them off just because I can't pick between the three. I like all three for different reasons. I think all three were 5 stars. A lot of people put the dog collar 1, but that's in a category of itself. As far as like 3 matches, to me, you're better off debating that against like the Flair Steamboat trilogy and go that way.
That wasn't even match of the night, Ty.
You know, Cody Seth, I think was there, but that was more due to the visuals of the Thorn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, the match was good, but I think the visual of it and him wrestling for 20 plus minutes with that, I think added to that.
I think that's what the fans voted was match of the year for WWE.
Of course.
No, the women's triple threat was better than that.
Yeah,
the women's triple threat.
That opened the show.
That opened the show.
Asuka, Becky, and Bianca.
I don't remember.
For me, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going outside the box here with match of the year, and I've rewatched it again, and it's still just. I'm gonna go Jordan Grace and Slamovich. Those two, man, like they just absolutely killed it. So yeah, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Huh? You picked what?" Because they don't watch Impact. But I'm telling you, go seek that match out. The first one, not the second one was good, but that first match they had, that stuck with me, and I've gone back and watched that a couple times. So I'm gonna go with that for match of the year.
I'm gonna go from Super Card of Honor, FTR versus the Briscoes. For me, yeah, like you said, Steve, that you like all their matches. For me, all the matches were good, but to me, nothing topped that one. So, yeah, and that was so early in the year, and nothing else lived up to that for me at all.
Yeah, like I said, I took them out of this category just because I'd rather debate it as a trilogy versus other trilogies. So, like, put their 3-match run up against Flair Steamboat, like, or whoever else, like. But yeah, that I've been hyping it up all year, so I'm not mad at you with that pick there. But I decided to go outside the box on mine.
All right, Donald.
Don't worry, Tyler. I already got my match of the year for 2023. It's Top Dollar and Ricochet.
You did that for Ty, right? Donald, female wrestler of the year.
I have Roxanne Perez. Started out as Ring of Honor champion in the beginning, made her way and rose through NXT, and because of circumstances, she became NXT champion. But that's what you call building young talent, which she did. And when she was up on the main roster, she looked like she belonged.
I don't even have to do mine because you just said everything that I had. So,
wow, it's surprising that Jen Stewart picking her over Mandy, given Mandy's run. for the
Mandy is my honorable mention,
But
but I
Mandy,
picked. I got young talent.
I've been throwing this one up in the air, but I'm gonna have to go with Bianca just because she stayed at the top or in the picture the whole year. Consistency.
Yeah, and this is kind of where our U.S. bias comes in because we don't watch enough of Stardom and
I know.
You know that.
But now that New Japan's going to start featuring women's matches on their stuff, maybe we'll see a little bit more and have some matches to judge.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Kyrie earlier, but first ever champ, and that. I had this one was difficult for me. Normally, it's clear cut, like Deanna was. To me, I thought there were more pieces on the board, so to speak, this year as far as women's wrestler of the year for me.
Yes.
A lot harder to pinpoint it and go, okay, yeah, definitely this is who stood out the most. I'll piggyback off Jay and I'll go with Bianca, just because it's hard to argue being on top for as long as she has been. So you're in the quote unquote biggest company in pro wrestling. You've been in number one the entire year. I will say I'm not going to say that comment.
Nope.
But I'd be on the lookout for Rhea Ripley as far as who we come back around next year.
Yes.
So
yeah,
yes,
I think could be an honorable mention for this year too. All right, Donald, male wrestler of the year, final category.
I was thinking a lot about this, but I have Will Ospreay. I mean, he's the only person who could produce in the ring and on the mic at the same time at a high level. I didn't see anybody do that together at all this whole year. From Dave Meltzer, he has 7 5-star matches, and you could throw the one in there as well. And he had the match of the year for me against Okada in the G1 final. Will Ospreay. Honorable mention, Sami Zayn for entertainment purposes, but
you did your research. You went to the books.
I told you I had a novel on this stuff. Yes, I looked at all this stuff.
I was debating this, but I'm going Seth.
I'm not angry at that either.
I had to change my mind late just what all he's done this year.
Yes,
and the good feuds he's been in. Let me go with Seth.
Ooh, you might need to repick. I agrees with you.
Hey,
yeah, I like the stuff Seth did too. With him elevating,
you're just off accolades, but I was like, you know what?
With him elevating people, I like that a lot.
You brought up consistency before, Jason. Seth is very consistent. Steve?
This came down to about 4 or 5 different guys. Seth was in there, Ospreay was in there, Josh Alexander was in there, Dax was in there, and Jay White for me are top 5. But I'm gonna go Dax. I mean, I know it's looked mainly upon as a singles run, but when you factor in everything that he's done over the course of the year, singles and tag matches, the match he had with Cash, the match he had with Punk, every single tag team match they were in this year, the run they had, holding all the belts. I'm going to go with Dax as my wrestler of the year.
So, can't say I'm surprised. I was expecting that.
Not even
you've been calling it. You were calling it all 2022. So I think I would have been more surprised.
I mean, why get off? Why get off the horse now? Like I've literally been on it nonstop. But I mean, you put that resume up. It's a hard resume to beat, boy. If you just look at it on paper and go, okay, regardless of tag team wrestler. Yep. 1,000%.
Real quick, any breakout of last year?
Breakout?
Any breakout?
Rhea.
Yeah.
Rhea, hands down.
I'd put
from her Mania Judgment Day moment, the reveal to now, nobody's touching her as far as the trajectory that she's on.
Okay.
That's what I'm really looking forward to seeing what she brings in 2023.
I had Jamie. I was thinking Jamie.
Okay.
For my breakout.
My male wrestler of the year was MJF. He's the only one that entertained me for the most part this year. Promos.
Oh, you didn't go my bad. You didn't go for your male.
He blurred the line between wrestling and reality a lot. Kept people talking even while he was off TV. Yeah. And MJF was probably one of the few things in 2022 that I enjoyed.
Can't hit on that.
All right. Quick prediction.
Keep it consistent, Dave. Keep it consistent.
Prediction for 2023. Who would you peg, and we'll just keep it simple. Who would you want as your male breakout star of the year, female breakout star of the year?
Takeshita Ramin this year, and Cora Jade. I want to see her do more in her heel gimmick.
Give me Solo and Solo and Willow.
I like the Willow pick, Jay.
Yeah. This is tough. If you know yours, Steve, go
ahead. For me, Rhea. I think she's just going to keep on that train. The only way that gets off the tracks is if they do it themselves. Like, in which everything's set up. Like the dominoes could not be in a straighter line for her right now for this year. I mean, you can win the Rumble, beat Bianca at Mania,
go on a run.
Like the dominoes are set. So, that for me, that's where I go. And then I can't say Ospreay because he's already a known commodity, right? I feel like this story New Japan is going to tell with him is going to like really put him on the map more than what he already is. But I'm going to circle back around to what Donald said. I mentioned it earlier in the show. Takeshita for me this time next year.
Yeah.
So like that dude, he's had it since day one when he stepped foot in the ring. Like prodigy wise, it's there. It's just whether or not, one, is he going to be able to talk? And two, if not, who are you going to put with him to help him be able to get the connection verbally with the audience? Wrestling wise, he's there already. He has the audience hooked. And with AEW, he may not have to get over verbal.
No.
But I think if he's going to be like a next level guy, he's going to have to connect verbally, not just match wise.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to go women. I'm hoping Shayna. They've been teasing this for a little bit now, and she's just never gotten to that point yet. And I really thought we were going to see Ronda versus Shayna at Mania, but it doesn't look like that we're going that way. So I hope the momentum for Shayna still increases and she gets, a single title run in WWE in 2023. And I'd probably say right now, just thinking, not necessarily just a talent, but something that I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in 2023 is, what if Cody does get the belt and what they do with him, once he comes back. So we'll see if he, can he hang and can he be the guy in WWE? Really in 2023, and I said this when we did our kind of our airing of the grievances, I just didn't enjoy a lot of wrestling in 2022. So I'm hoping 2023 is just a better year in wrestling overall.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, thanks for being a Grinch and bringing down the segment. So with that being said, let's crack open and drink a beer.
Chug, 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 chug.
All right. First beer review of 2023. We are going with the Rusty Rail Brewing Company Ninja Bread Man. Ty, I brought this for you. You know, thought it would be, and honestly, I picked it up because I really like the can. I just thought it was a cool look. It says it's a gingerbread lager, so not sure if this is gonna actually taste like gingerbread or what, but
Had to be that guy.
Can't take
The
this
first
man.
thing, the first thing Steve said was, "I got to watch how I say this."
yep, gotta watch how I say that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I can tell that I'm drinking a lager.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Ginger isn't as heavy as I expected it, though.
I think this would be better if it was poured out of the can.
Or
You
on
get that
tap.
aluminum taste to it.
Yeah, I am like if this was on tap, and into a nice frosty mug, I think maybe this would hit different. It's a solid lager.
Yeah.
6% alcohol by volume, so nice little base to it. I wouldn't put it in like my top 5 of Rusty Wells that we've done.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But
They always been a hit or a miss with me when we did them. It's like either good or really bad.
This is in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought the gingerbread man walked past this. I can get a hint of the gingerbread, but I don't hate it.
It's a good balance, I think.
Mhm.
It's
It
like
is.
you're getting the traditional lager in there, and you're smelling.
Yeah, you
For
can
me, I'm
definitely taste
smelling
the
the
lager.
ginger. Yeah, I'm smelling the gingerbread man, and again that subtle taste of it. It's not over.
Yes.
Nothing's overpowering.
Yeah.
It's a good balance. I think I'm gonna go 2.9.
yeah, I was gonna say 2.75.
Yeah, for me, it's down the middle for me. I mean, I could drink a lot of these. It's not bad at all. Definitely lager taste to it. More lager than ginger. I give it a 2.5.
I'll hang around you. Like if you gave me, I drink another. Would I buy another? No, but you gave me another one, I drink it.
I might buy another one.
2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely want to try this on tap though, or
Yes. Mm-hmm.
or even out of a bottle.
Splash a little whipped cream on top of that.
That's what she said. All right.
Where are we going into next?
Cheers, salute. We can just we'll touch on sports briefly. Kind of the main stuff, and then wrap it up. Obviously, this week in sports, the big sports news was the situation that transpired on Monday Night Football with Damar Hamlin. Obviously, with us being here locally in Pittsburgh, it hit a little different. At least for me, it did. In Keys Rock, Central Catholic high school graduate, Pitt grad, so it was a little bit closer to home. I will say that was the scariest and hardest thing I've ever seen in a sporting event live. I've seen other injuries, right? Like Jason Kendall breaking his ankle and a couple other things. Alex Smith with his leg.
The guy from Louisville, where
yeah,
the final four. Yeah,
and it was all Shazier with the Steelers. But when you saw that, at least for me live, it was like, oh, this is something complete. This is way different. Immediately I thought the worst.
Yes,
but kudos to the Bills training staff, the first responders. We're not saying nothing new. This has been documented and talked about all week. DeMar FaceTimed zoomed into the team yesterday. Was able to give them take Buffalo times 1,000 this week. So if you're a betting man, they're going to go out there, and I feel like they're going to steamroll New England. Me and my boss and I were talking about this. He thinks the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl, and DeMar's going to play in the Super Bowl. I was like, wow.
Nah.
I said the Bills are going to go to the Super Bowl, and he's going to come out of the tunnel first, a la Jerome Bettis, because they don't do individual introductions no more. They do the team. He's going to come out first, and But no, kudos to everybody involved in that situation. Obviously, I'm not going to touch on the negative hate I saw here locally, given other circumstances that transpired during the week. But some people showed their true colors, and they got cut off from me in 2023. So, that was a wrap on that end. Kudos to everybody that donated to his charity. I believe it was up over 4 or 5 million last I saw.
8.1.
Oh, it got all the way up to 8. Wow.
Yeah, 8.1. They said this morning.
Was he tossing jersey sales too?
Yeah, Fanatics, they've been sold out. They're trying to get them out as quickly as possible. So yeah, I mean, you've seen everybody from all around donate, not just in the sports world or regular Joe Schmoes like us, but Chris Jericho. The list goes on and on. But, scary situation. Glad everything worked out, and go from there. On the flip side of the coin, the NFL presented itself with an unprecedented situation. No outcome was going to be the best outcome for everybody involved. You saw the Bengals a little bit upset yesterday, based off of what came out. I don't know how else you handle it or how else you fix the seeding, home game, bye, all that stuff. There was no win-win from that situation. I think it's a one-off. It is what it is. Do I like that the NFL adjusted the rules during the season? No. But again, this is something that I don't think they even had envisioned as an option to speak. So I will say, will this change your viewing of football? Like if you watch a football game, because if you watch this live, will this cause you to watch the game differently?
No.
To me, it wasn't like to me, I don't think it was an injury from football. Like it was something like a gruesome hit. Maybe that, but this was just like something that could have happened to anybody.
Well, and I don't know if this has been confirmed, but and I forget the medical term for it, but we've seen it happen other times in football. Where you get the blow to the chest and it causes the rhythm to be thrown off. Yeah. Chris Pronger had this in the NHL when he got hit with a slap shot with a puck. Came back and played for another, I think, 8 or 10 years afterwards. So, yeah, Jay, I don't, it looked like a regular every down tackle.
Yeah.
The angle and the force and where it landed, it just happened to, cause what it caused.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, it'll be interesting me turning on games tomorrow to actually see how I feel watching a game. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be watching a game and it's going to be in the back of my mind whenever I see a tackle or I see a player not get up right away. Like, I don't know how that's going to coincide with my viewing habits. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So, anything else sports wise? I know there was some drama in the soccer world from the U.S. men's national team. I'm not going to talk about any of that.
I'm not even up on that, so we'll have to discuss that after the show.
Yeah,
some drama. Let's just say that entitled parents have turned a situation into a complete cluster.
What else is new?
Shocker.
America.
Yeah. Let's see what else.
Just the final week in the NFL. That's it. Playoff seedings and
National
everything.
championship game. Who you got? TCU or Georgia?
I root for the underdog. Let's go TCU.
Georgia.
Give me TCU.
I'll go Georgia. I don't know if TCU can. I mean, I didn't think their magical run was going to go past Michigan, but you want to talk about like the perfect scenario for a college football playoff? Those two games on New Year's Eve, both of them,
amazing,
like absolutely amazing. And to have the kick go wide left as soon as the ball hit midnight, like you couldn't write that if you were a Hollywood script writer.
We turn with 30 seconds. Like they of course they're not going to kick this ball before the ball drops. Back right after the ball drops is Stetson Bennett crying. I don't know what happened. Who won? Who lost?
I just know after watching the Michigan game, because my sister's a big Michigan fan, she was like, "Yeah, this is a Ohio State game. It ain't coming on to my house. Everybody got to get it now. Kick everybody out the house."
And then lastly, it's the end of an era in the, I don't want to say the sports world, but East Bay Magazine.
Oh, man.
Is officially closing. Well, they've closed. 2022 ended. The East Bay Magazine will no longer be in effect. There was nothing better than getting that East Bay Magazine in the mail and going through and picking out your cleats or your spikes or whatever. And the strength shoes with the big disc on the bottom of the front to build up your calves.
My brother had something.
You want to talk about something that, like, put it right next to the pet rock for something that never should have made millions of dollars, but it actually did.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know the magazine was still around, you know, especially in an era where magazines haven't been relevant like a decade.
I remember I used to go
this long.
I remember I used to go in there and go straight to the authentic jerseys. I want this one. I want that one.
I haven't bought a single thing from East Bay Magazine.
Me either.
Oh, no. But I had a subscription. If I knew, I look for the Griffies in the magazine. And what the dicks about.
Yeah. So end of an era.
Loved it.
Something that kids today will never know anything about.
No.
But East Bay Magazine, boy.
Where can you get cleats in an Averex bomber jacket?
eBay.
Yeah, in a set. Yeah. So.
Loved it.
But that's all I had.
Nothing else for sports.
We can skip this.
So you talking about Michigan?
Well, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
First quick draw of the year.
Of course.
All right, Steve, this is yours.
Yeah, so with it being New Year's, I wanted to do something. These are the most common New Year's resolutions that people tend to say that they're going to do the most with New Year's resolutions. So we have quit smoking, get organized, lose weight / eat healthy, save more money, spend less.
I've done not a single one of these, but I don't smoke. So I've had the others on my list, haven't accomplished shit, but I don't smoke. So smoking got to go.
They all got to go. No one's going to do any of these. They might be on your list, but no one's going to do any of them. So they can all go. But I'll probably say everybody's at the gym. I drove by the gym the other day. Everybody was there. It was packed doing that. And, in 4 weeks, the gym.
In a couple weeks,
much, yeah. It'll be
Your treadmill will be available. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I think that's probably the one that everybody goes back on the most. So I'm going to say lose weight, eat healthy. That can go from the fat guy.
I do B&D very well. very, very well. C is always the hardest one to do for myself. And A, I never did whatsoever. But and hear people talk about quit smoking, then a couple weeks later they're back on the thing. So yeah, A is the one I got to go.
Give us a success story, Steve.
Well, last year I did save more money than I spent, so that was a success there. So I hope they continue that trend in 2023. The organization thing, that's never been an issue. As a parent with kids, you tend to figure out organization rather quickly, or else you're just going to lose your damn mind. The two that I think people automatically pick the most each year that always get broken are the quit smoking and lose weight. You see the gym memberships rise, and then you know everybody complains for about maybe a month, 6 weeks at the most, and then it goes back to normal. So yeah, I think the lose weight, eat healthy, that one can go because it's always broken. Like always.
Yeah.
Whether it's like I'm not eating chips, I'm not eating ice cream and snack or whatever, like it's done. And then the gym membership thing, you want to talk about a hustle of all hustles.
Oh yes.
So come in, sign up now. Dollar to start, $10 per month. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go 4 days a week, 5 days a week. And then it's like, yo, come June, you're like, I still have this gym membership.
Yep.
Paying out all
And
year.
that $10 built up.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll go with
like 3 years.
Lose weight, eat healthy.
I had a subscription with a doctor one day that was like, all you have to do is eat healthy, and I still failed.
Jim is cliche. Yep.
Do you guys still do New Year's resolutions? Or
No.
have you ever done New Year's resolutions?
No.
I've done them, but I don't do them anymore.
No.
I've done goals.
Is that a white people creation? Right?
No, that's it. That's everybody's thing.
Isn't everybody thing?
Yeah.
I don't do that stuff. I don't see the New Year as a new year. I just see it as the next day.
I just set small goals I wanted to accomplish by a certain point and started doing that. But then it was like, I got lost track of that too. Fuck it. New Year's resolutions is racist.
It's a white people thing.
Is that a white people thing?
That's some white people shit. Wanting to better yourself. That's some white people shit.
All
right, final thoughts.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to episode 117. Guys, check out down below. Like, share, subscribe, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch at DumbMarksPod. Like, subscribe, share, comment, everything. Appreciate everything that you guys do for us. All of you guys that submitted some feedback about the show at the end of 2022, early 2023, thank you for that. Maybe stay tuned. Maybe you'll see some of those changes coming.
Yeah, absolutely. I brought up the teas earlier in the show, but we did take the feedback. We do appreciate it, and we have applied it. So you will see changes coming here rather quickly. So use that as you will, but just make sure you tune in next week. How about that?
There we go. And new merch is available at prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod. And through this upcoming Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you can get 20% off of everything that you purchase on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, so hop on over there, pick up a new shirt. Any purchase that's made, 1, we appreciate it. 2, thank you, and 3, we'll give you a live shout out on air. So go over there, support your boys. Trying to make some money off this shit in 2023. Anything else from the 4 squares here?
I want to give you a glimpse into my situation right now. So for Christmas, I usually ask for socks and drawers. And in lieu of that, they gave me cards and gift cards to buy my own. I bought the wrong size drawers.
What did you buy? What did you think you were size you were?
Yeah, this is dude walking in buying a Magnum, yeah.
How about a large? A large is what I think 36 to 38, which is clearly my pants size. But Haynes is like, no, you're not. You're 42 and bigger. No, I don't know how my friends will be better than me, but
now you better check. You better check your stuff again. You just sit around all day.
The one time I'm in charge of my own situation.
Where did you buy from?
Target. They're going back.
I was gonna say, did you buy off of like Wish.com and you got this? You got the Chinese large or something?
Yes.
Yes.
We all in?
Tuesday night pro wrestling show. In my opinion, your boys will be there to deliver another ass whooping to the host of the show. Okay. So make sure you follow. Head on over there Tuesday night. Check us out. We'll be there, shooting the shit as always. A good time, great show, great host. Love being on with Dave. So yeah, tune in Tuesday night. We'll be there, the four of us, chopping it up as usual.
And hopefully we will be live on our channels as well as all Dave's channels too. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. We got some technology glitches. We'll see if we get those worked out by Tuesday night. So we'll see if we got the new platform figured out. Yeah, Jay, I don't know, like maybe you need to go take some adulting classes. I don't even know what to say to you right now.
I never had the damn because they covered me for the last 10 years.
Just call your mom. Ask her what she buys.
Yeah. I'm like,
hey, you know what eliminates that problem, right?
God, here we go again.
You know what eliminates that problem, right?
Just cut out the middleman, apparently.
Just go commando. Eliminate the problem. All you wear is sweatpants anyways. It's not like you're rocking jeans. So you ain't got denim rubbing on your ass. Like, just cut out the middleman. There you go. 2023, the year Jay goes commando. That's it. There it is.
We'll get an update on this next week.
Anything else?
Did Jason get new underwear or did he go commando for the week?
Did he get the right size?
These are the problems that you're dealing with in 2023, not buying the right size underwear. Like, I think you'll be all right for the rest
Life's
of the year.
gravy.
Yeah. I dealt with no water yesterday for 7 hours in my house.
Your house or a water main break in the area.
There was another break and they had to turn it off.
Jesus Christ.
At least it wasn't your house.
Man.
Yeah.
But still.
It was shut off. Luckily it wasn't like last time where it cost me like $700 to pay for 2 hotel rooms and Winnie the Pooh. Maybe the new mascot for the podcast. You never know.
Back on.
Yeah, Donald, speaking of Winnie the Pooh, how you autopilot to Burger King?
Oh yeah. So after work, after dropping Jason off, I had to run home and do errands and that stuff, and I just zoned out. The next thing you know, I'm in a Burger King drive-thru ordering a Whopper meal. I was like, "How did I get here?"
No lie. I sent you this message, but no lie. I wanted Burger King for lunch that day. I was like, that's all I want. I was like, I am not driving out there though.
I was like,
then you posted, I was like, see, we got that connection.
I was like, my goodness, geez, Donald, come on. And I was just completely zoned out.
Yeah, like of all places,
So like, how do you go
autopilot to Burger King? Like
you go home autopilot. How you veer off pad? Like,
True.
yeah, and then come to whenever you're handing your $7.87 for your Whopper meal to the cashier.
It
Picking
did.
up there like, what did I order? Had that Moon Knight moment.
It did. It was the weirdest thing. But yeah, but I just drift off because I'm thinking about too much stuff. And it just the Whopper meal, the number one. Normally, I'm just in my driveway, wake up like, okay, I'm at home. Like, no, like, what the hell?
I'm surprised there's still Burger Kings around in 2023. Okay, like
Right down the street from me.
Hey, somebody's keeping them in Arby's open.
Whoa. We're not going to do that. Okay.
You got to start the year off right.
We're not going to shame the Arby's. You know, they got Wagyu burgers now. Like, we're not.
Oh, you trust it?
Okay.
I
trust it better than that McRib you've been eating for the last 37 years.
Yes. I trust that Wagyu. Yeah.
Years.
I had the Wagyu. I wasn't impressed, but I trusted over the McRib.
That's why the McRib is on its farewell tour. They ran out of the initial burgers that they got 37 years ago.
Fake plastic. You better off chewing on a kid's Lego than eating a McRib.
I did finally get one of those Reese cookies. Those things are legit from Arby's.
Doesn't make that trip. Okay.
Yes.
I recommend mask when I go through. I think I'm robbing the place, but don't want to see my face.
Look, Chris is over there talking about Reese cookies, and he's getting ready to start rubbing his Bucky's beaver. This is unbelievable. Wrap up the show. Anybody got anything else? No. All right. With that note, on a positive side, 2023, live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. No negativity. Live life as if everything is rigged in your favor, not rigged against you. With that being said, thanks everybody for welcoming us back. We missed you all. Tune in each and every single week. Check us out Tuesday night on In My Opinion, on Pro Wrestling Show. And with that being said, I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, tell a Mark. And until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.